Hey, it's John Sifferman here, and in this video I'm just going to be talking about the difference between regular push-ups and knuckle push-ups to explain some of the advantages of each and hopefully help you figure out if one variation would be better for you and your goals than the other. So somebody was asking me about this recently. They were wondering if knuckle push-ups were better or more effective than regular push-ups, if I recommended doing more knuckle push-ups than regular push-ups. And I told him it depends, of course, as it always does. But I decided I'd put this video together for you guys just to share what little I have to offer on this all-important discussion topic, just in case you were wondering the same thing. There's really not that much to it. But basically the short version of the story is that the two exercises are exactly the same, except for the configuration of your hands. So we're really comparing apples to apples here, and there isn't that big of a difference. And I think that we in the fitness community are guilty of over-obsessing and fixating on minuscule details that really aren't that important, like comparing which push-up variation is better than the other, when we should just be doing more push-ups. And so let's just keep that in mind. I like to have a good perspective whenever bringing up any controversial subject. Not that this should even be controversial, to tell you the truth. I don't know why people debate this particular issue. I think there's a lot of pride and zeal associated with whatever push-up variation you decide to focus on. But anyways, in my mind, there are two reasons why you might want to do knuckle push-ups instead of regular push-ups. The first is kind of an obvious one. It's simply because the knuckle push-up is going to train your lower arms, your wrists, your hands, your fingers to a greater extent than regular push-ups do. It's going to strengthen the musculature, the connective tissue, even the bones, if you train them long enough, consistently long enough over a period of several months and years. If you do that, the knuckle push-ups will actually strengthen these tissues a little bit more so than regular push-ups. The only difference, of course, between the exercises is regular push-ups, you're on your hands with your fingers splayed, like so, and with the knuckle push-ups, you're on your fists. And in case you're wondering the best way to make a fist, I don't know if this is the best way to do it for the exercise, but this is how I've always done it. Just curl the fingers in, wrap the thumb around the outside of the fingers, around your pointer and your middle finger, and keep the fists firm. But not like a death grip. You just want it to be solid while you're doing your push-ups. You don't want to be trembling because you're squeezing them so hard. Not that you would do that anyways, but believe me, I've seen some weird things at gyms, so I like to just clarify everything that I'm teaching. So you're going to do your push-ups on your knuckles. You might find that when you do knuckle push-ups that your hands and your arms are a little bit more in than they are with regular push-ups. And the reason being is that you want to keep your arms vertical, like pillars, really efficient against gravity. You don't want them to be too wide or too narrow. You want them to be perfectly vertical. And one of the reasons for that is because you want to have a neutral wrist throughout the full range of motion. And that's really the main benefit that I see associated with knuckle push-ups, is training your wrists in that neutral position, because it's a really important position that will transfer not just to all sorts of other exercises, but to all sorts of things in life. This is where your wrist is strongest, or at least where it should be strongest. And so it's just a good idea to train this as often as you can. And so for that reason alone, you might want to do some knuckle push-ups, because you're able to train your wrists in that neutral position. But like I said before, you might find that your hands are a little bit closer in than they are with regular push-ups on your hands, or on your palms rather. And you might also notice that you get a little bit more depth and range of motion with the knuckle push-ups. You might be able to get a little bit deeper down and a little bit more stretch on your pec and your anterior deltoid with the knuckle push-ups than you do with regular push-ups. And it's simply because when you're on your palms, you're a little bit lower than you are when you're on your fists. So when you're on your fists, you're a little higher, and thus you can get a little bit lower because you have more space to do so. So that's a very trivial, almost insignificant detail, but it is true. If you do knuckle push-ups, you get a little bit more range of motion than if you do on your palms. So that's the first reason why you would want to do knuckle push-ups, is if you want to strengthen not just the musculature, but the connective tissue and the bones of the forearms, the wrists, and the hands and even the fingers. And you might find that over time that as you do knuckle push-ups, the skin on your knuckles will get tougher, it'll get thicker, it might even get calloused. Maybe that's something that interests you, maybe that's something you want to avoid, but it is something to be aware of. And I should probably also add that whenever transitioning to any new exercise, you want to progress slowly. So if you're doing, let's say, 50 or even 100 push-ups on average per push-up workout, don't do 100 knuckle push-ups your first time through. Maybe do one set, do 10, 20, or 30 reps or something like that. Do significantly less than you normally do because you just don't know how it's going to affect your body. There might be a weakness in your wrists or in your hands or in your fingers that you uncover by stressing it in a new way. So just progress gradually into the new exercise. That should be common sense, and it's certainly true of any exercise you try, not just knuckle push-ups. So anyways, that's the first reason why you want to do knuckle push-ups, is simply to toughen up these tissues. That's obviously why it's a popular exercise in the boxing and martial art communities, because that's pretty important. You know, if you're going to be smacking somebody's skull or you know, anything, just a heavy bag repeatedly, then you want this to be really strong, really resilient. So that's the obvious reason. Again, the two exercises are exactly the same except for your hand configuration. But the other reason why I would recommend doing knuckle push-ups, and is, to my memory, the only reason I've ever actually recommended it to a couple of my clients, is because regular push-ups on your palms sometimes will aggravate a pre-existing condition in the wrist. Some people just, they have problems with the wrists. It could be signs or symptoms of carpal tunnel syndrome or any sort of issues, just tension, pain, etc. And for whatever reason, whenever they extend their hands back, get their wrists into this extended position, put weight on it, and then press through that weight, it can be really uncomfortable or even painful, and might make them want to not do push-ups, which is a dreadful idea. And we want to avoid that. And so if that's you, if regular push-ups is uncomfortable on your wrists, you might find that getting into that neutral wrist position would be helpful to alleviate that. And so I'd recommend absolutely try it. And again, you know, if you're going to start trying these exercises, move into them gradually. I didn't even think of this before I sort of thought of the video in my head, but something else you can do if you're dealing with that wrist issue, just kind of a side tip, is you can use a set of parallel bars, which will also get your wrists into that neutral position, which will also let you get a little bit deeper into the push-up range of motion. You can see that the wrist is in this neutral position, it's vertical, and so that can also be a way to alleviate that discomfort if it is uncomfortable for you to do regular push-ups. This is just a set of perfect push-up handles. You can use any set of parallel bars at the gym or at the playground, etc. So those are the only two really selling points, in my opinion, on why you might want to do knuckle push-ups instead of regular push-ups. Basically, I think they're both great exercises. I don't think that one is better than the other. The knuckle push-up is a good alternative to regular push-ups, and if you want my honest opinion, I think if you can do both exercises, then you should do both. One of the reasons why the push-up is such a great exercise is because it is so versatile. There's so many different ways to do it, and each different push-up variation will stress your body in a slightly different way, and I think that helps to build resiliency, helps to build more well-rounded strength and more balanced muscle development. And so if you can do both, please do both, and try other push-up variations too. I'm not one to idolize or just pick out any one push-up variation and say that's the best one. I think they're all great, and I think the key is that you and I do plenty of push-ups, as many as we can, do safely and effectively. So if you have any questions about that, or if you disagree, if you think I'm crazy, I'd love to hear from you. Please leave a comment below or get in touch with me somehow. And please like the video if you'd like to see more like this one in the future. Love putting them out there, and I'm going to do as many as I have time for. So I'm John Sifferman from physicalliving.com. Take care.